Welcome in, everyone. I'm Renee, the visionary here at the Phoenix Uprising. The universe engages with each of us in a multitude of ways, and it's no coincidence that this particular reading has crossed your path at this pivotal point in your journey. In this video, I will share with you insights that Source has provided to me for your encouragement, your support, and your highest good. It is my intention to help others like yourself unlock, strengthen, and use the innate spiritual gifts residing within each of you. Throughout this video, you will see intuitively selected images that I've chosen meant to reflect the current energy and help you tap into your own intuition. This is a general collective reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest for others. We each see through our own perspective lens based on our personal level of growth, our current situation, as well as our own past experiences. I am simply a vessel that's willing to pass on messages from Source and to offer wisdom that I have collected along my journey, which may be helpful to some of you. Please note that I am not a medical professional, and these readings are meant solely for your enjoyment. I'm going to start the reading by clearing the space of any residual energy. You will hear a series of 3 chimes, starting now. Next, I'm going to light my candle of intention, and if you have a candle close by, you can go ahead and light yours and set your focus for the reading. If you have any specific questions for Source, I encourage you to ask those questions now. Let's begin. I'm seeing the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords represents a need to make a difficult decision. It could also mean that you're at a crossroads with a choice between 2 distinctly different paths. The Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands has the ability to achieve a great deal in a short amount of time. It's creative fire energy. The Magician, manifesting goals through action, focused intention. It touches on your inner world being reflected in your outer world. This choice that you're making, I'm hearing choose with the heart, your creative heart, the creative path, the path that speaks to that creative part of your soul, the thing that ignites your passion, lighthouse. You're meant to let your light shine out into the world. Sharing your story will give others hope. Being able to move through the pain of your past will help others do the same. Those meant to hear your story will find you. Okay? I'm seeing the bull. Perhaps the bull is a spirit animal for you, Taurus energy. The bull has the ability to stand firm. The bull has power and dominion over its own space, right? Maybe you're being called to step into the power and dominion over your own life, mind, body, and spirit, to find your inner strength and your strong will. Beauty starts within. I feel like the hard work that you've done and continue to do on your inner world will soon be reflected in the outer realm. Sometimes that takes a little bit of time for the two to be in sync, right? We do a lot of inner work before we begin to see things change in the outer realm. The universe will reward you for your efforts. I'm hearing jealousy. Do not be surprised if others are jealous of your beautiful light. And when your outer realm begins to match your inner light, people will start to be jealous. And I feel like it will be people who you would not expect jealousy to come from, perhaps family, close friends. They want the same results without doing the work that you've done. I'm hearing be mindful of those that you let in close to you. Limitless. Your pure heart and the beautiful intentions that you have toward your own life and the others is going to allow the free flow of blessings to be showered upon you by the universe. Healed heart. Your heart is well on the way to healing because you've been pouring into yourself. And I feel like you've been doing this for years, you know. You're not at the beginning of your journey. For those of you who resonate with this reading, I feel like you've been pouring into yourself. You've been working on your inner world for years. And maybe you are starting to doubt just a little bit. You know, you would like to see some forward movement, right? I feel like you've been very patient, actually. And because of that patience, because you've been letting your light shine into the world, you are going to be rewarded. And it will be very soon. You're stepping into this Queen of Wands energy. Fire is one of the fastest moving energies. With the Magician and the Queen of Wands, you're really going to start manifesting your goals quickly with some focused intentions. I feel like things are really going to start picking up for you. I'm hearing a time frame of about 3 months. I hope that you've been doing some planning. When things start coming in, it's like a dam bursting, right? We go from nothing happening until boom, and then everything sort of floods, and we can get swept away in everything happening at once if we haven't planned accordingly, so that you won't feel overwhelmed when your outer world starts to match your inner sanctum, right? Maybe you do have people in your energy who do try to lead you off your path in some way. Maybe they are quick to point out that you have been putting a lot of effort into something and haven't been seeing any returns thus far. I don't think that comes from a place of care and concern. They see you in this lighthouse energy. They know you are vibrating on a very high level right now. I think even they can see that it will only be a matter of time before you start pulling in these things that you have been manifesting with diligence. The Magician is confident and not easily swayed. There will be a difficult decision, though, with the Two of Swords. This decision may be based around the people that you choose to bring with you along the next part of your journey. You may have to cut some people off with these swords, right? Typically, the Two of Swords is in a protective stance, right? With the swords crossed over the chest. You are protected while you're in the midst of making that decision. The Two of Swords is air energy, right? And being an air sign, I know that it's easy to get caught up in your head about seeing the pros and cons of both paths to the point that you sort of get frozen and are unable to make a decision. Rather than getting caught up in your head, choose with your heart in this instance. Don't go into something blindly, but whatever path really satiates the part of you that is in this Queen of Wands energy with the creative fire energy. I feel like it's the creative path that will bring you the most joy, the most satisfaction, whatever that is for you, right? I'm hearing liver flukes. Liver flukes are parasites that infect the liver, the gallbladder, and bile ducts. Typically, I believe these come from undercooked freshwater fish and watercress. They can cause nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and tenderness. They cause inflammation in these organs. You may need to check into that if you're having any of those symptoms. I'm also hearing cottonwood buds. Now, if you know anything about cottonwood buds, they are very resinous buds, very sappy buds. And they are one of the ingredients in the balm of Gilead, which is typically made into a balm, right, which is typically made into a balm for the treatment of pain. It actually dates back to biblical times. It's also used for eczema, burns, wound care. It helps with arthritic hands and joints. Maybe you make tinctures and balms as a source of income. Perhaps that's something that you've been working on. Or maybe this is something that you could just do some research on, and maybe it's something that would actually help you just for personal use. The bull is not easily moved, is it? I don't think that you're going to be moved by these people in any way, shape, or form. The bull has a strong will as well as being physically strong. Perhaps you've been working on your power and strength physically as well. Things don't typically end well for those who try to mess with the bull, right? You mess with the bull, you get the horns, right? You've been on your spiritual and healing journey for quite some time. Even if it's family or close friends, I don't think that the jealousy that will come from these people will sway you off your path, because you have learned to be not cold or callous. You do have the ability to detach yourself from those who are not good for you, right? And that wasn't always so. But being on this journey for quite some time, years, you've already learned that not everyone can travel with you on your entire journey. And sometimes that does include friends and family members. You may be surprised at the jealousy that will come from those around you, but you won't be deterred by it. And you won't be afraid to stand your ground and tell people what you will and will not tolerate. You're moving into an energy where you know what you want, you know what you don't want, and you may not really care who likes it, to be honest. And I don't think that comes from a place of being mean spirited at all. I think it's just that, maybe you have lived through a lot of things and you're not willing to lose your peace over anyone, including family and close friends. And for you, I feel like that's a good place to be. Like I said, you have a pure heart and your intentions are pure. If someone feels some kind of way about the blessings that you're getting ready to be showered with, I feel like it's just going to be tough, Because for one, I feel like you've earned this, okay? You've put in a lot of work in yourself, right? It is inner work and possibly even physical. And perhaps that's it. Maybe you have been working on your body and getting your physical strength up, and that is starting to match your efforts, right? People are starting to see a difference in your physical body. And rather than being supportive, it just seems like whoever this is, they always have something slick to say. They can see clearly you have been putting in effort. Rather than being supportive, they're jealous. They would like to have those results for themselves, but they're not willing to do the work that you've done. And I would go as far as to say that while you were in the midst of doing this work on yourself, they were probably making fun of you or something in some way, right? Or trying to deter you from that. Oh, I see you're off to the gym again, rolls eyes, because they really didn't think that you were going to stick with it or actually get anywhere with it, but you did. And they're sort of sore over that. Oh my goodness. And of course, it doesn't have to be physical. It could be a lot of things. It could be monetarily, right? Maybe you do have a business. Maybe you do make tinctures and balms or soaps and candles, or you know what I'm saying? Maybe at the beginning they weren't very supportive. In fact, maybe they did put it down, Oh, you're making candles, or you know what I'm saying? Just that kind of energy. And now that it's sort of starting to get a little bit of traction, they just don't like it. It's really ick kind of energy. Even now that they can see forward traction with it, they still have something nasty to say, right? They're still not supportive, which is tragic, really. With the pure heart that you have, the pure intentions that you have, I feel like maybe even you tried to get them to do this with you, right? You tried to include them in this in some way. Maybe you tried to turn them on to the process of how you do the things you do, and they sort of threw it back in your face like, that's never going to work. But now that it's working, oh, now we want to be interested, and now we have our eye on what you're doing, right? They watch you much closer than you believe that they do. Especially if you have social media. I feel like these people really watch you, in the shadows, and are really keeping an eye on how you're progressing with this. They may have even made fake accounts to, put nasty comments on what you have going on, right? Your channel or something, right? You're not going to be swayed. You're not. That's beautiful too, because your outer realm is going to be reflecting very soon the inner work that you've done and the hard work that you've done on the business, your body, your mind, your spirit. You know what I'm saying? All of this is going to really culminate into something beautiful. The universe is definitely going to be rewarding your efforts. With this decision, I would simply say make an informed decision with your creative heart, with your beautiful, pure heart. Don't overthink it. I feel like you really do know the way that you want to go, the way that you're meant to go. With the Queen of Wands and the Magician here, there's no need to doubt your intuition at all. It's beautiful to see someone that has been through so much, and I feel like you have actually lived through a great deal of loss in your life. It's beautiful to see someone who has put in the work of healing their heart, not looking for external validation from others to help get you through that. The only way to heal your heart is to go through those emotions, right? To go through the pain, to truly do the work. And I feel like you have. And because of this, you have a deeper understanding of what you want out of this life moving forward. You don't get caught up in drama and, jealousy and envy. And I feel like that's not in the energy that you move. So I really do believe that that's coming from someone external to you. You know what's important to you. And with the Magician, your manifesting is incredible right now. I feel like you can manifest pretty much anything that you want because your heart and intentions are pure. And the universe sees that. And the universe will reward that also. I feel like you're really going to see a great deal of growth and achievement in a very short amount of time. Like I touched on before, I think it will be important to do a little bit of pre-planning for some of these things. It's not simply enough to be able to manifest the things we want, but we need to pray for the ability to maintain what we want as well. Share your story. Sharing your story will give others hope, I feel like. I have to mention that there are those of you who need to write your story as well. And you may not feel like your story is worth sharing, but I promise you it is. You will change lives by sharing your story. You've been through a great deal. You've moved through a lot of grief and trauma. You've learned how to heal your heart. Others could benefit from that. And, to those who would say, turn to a therapist, I think therapy absolutely has a place. It's easier to accept help sometimes from those who we feel like we have something truly in common with, those that have been through what we've been through and have come out on the other side successful. Therapy has its place. Therapists have their place. There are some people in this world that will never step foot in a therapist's office because they don't feel a connection to a stranger, or they don't feel comfortable with really opening themselves up to strangers who they feel like they have nothing in common with. So don't discount sharing your story with others, because it can absolutely be a lifesaver. And you may never know that. You may share your story. You may be that lighthouse, that shining light in a dark time for someone, and you actually really help them. Share your story, share your light, and keep up the great work. It's going to pay off really soon. As always, I pray for your abundance and all good things, and encourage you to take the next step of your journey with confidence and a renewed sense of hope. I like to leave you with the food for thought quote of the day. And today's quote is, "When your intentions are pure, you don't lose anyone, they lose you." Unknown. Only up from here, and together we rise.